What's going on, everybody? Kalipus Tech here, coming back at you with another video. This is camera tips and tricks for the Samsung Galaxy A23. In this video, I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks for this phone to help you get more comfortable with the camera. Now before we go any further, as always, I do want to remind you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It helps out the channel a lot. And if you want to learn more about this phone, definitely check out my full review and other tips and tricks videos for it as well. But with that being said, let's get started. So first things first, I want to show you a real quick and convenient way to open the camera when you're not on your home screen. So no matter where you are on the phone, all you got to do to open the camera is simply double press the power key like this, and it's going to open the camera. And you can do this anywhere, so if you're on a different app, again, just double press the power key. And you can even do this when the display is off. So we're going to try it one more time. And there we go. Real simple, real easy. So if you want to capture something really quickly in the moment, it's definitely a nice feature to have. And in addition to this, say you don't actually use your camera app to take photos, maybe you use either Snapchat or some sort of other camera app like Open Camera, all you need to do is simply go to Settings. From here, go to Advanced Features. From here, go to Side Key. And instead of Quick Launch Camera, have it open an app instead. And now you can select whatever app you want, so if you have an alternate camera app, or maybe even Snapchat, now if you double press the power key, it's going to open that instead. But one sort of minor detail I do want to point out is that if you have it set to open an app and you try to do it when the phone is locked, it is going to have you unlock it first. Again, not really a huge detail, because I feel like most people are probably just going to use the regular camera anyway, but all the same, it is something to keep in mind. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is how to use the macro camera. To get to this feature, you're going to go to More down here, and macro mode is right here. So now you can get those real close-up detailed images, and when you're taking these photos, be sure to get close enough for it to focus right. So we're going to test it out real quick. And there we go. That's pretty much how it works. Real easy and straightforward. And as you can see, this macro camera is actually pretty good. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is actually the complete opposite of the macro camera, and that is the ultrawide camera. This is another really easy feature to use. All you need to do to activate the ultrawide camera is hit this little 0.5 right here. And now you're going to get a much wider angle, so you can capture scenery and stuff like that. But be aware, with this ultrawide camera, there is a little distortion, as you can probably see there. Now when you actually take the photo, it isn't nearly this bad. And as you can see here, the ultrawide camera is actually really effective and perfectly capable of taking really high quality photos. But just be aware that when you're using the ultrawide camera, there can be a little distortion around the edges at certain angles. So definitely make sure to pay attention to what the actual frame looks like when you're taking a photo. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is how to use high efficiency photos and videos. What this does is basically changes the file format of your photos and videos into smaller types of files that save a little space. To get to this feature, we're going to go to Settings up here, and for photos, it's under the Pictures section right here, and for videos, it's under Reduce File Size. So now with these features on, it's going to change your photos from JPGs to HEIFs and videos from MP4s to HEVCs. Now this is perfectly fine in most cases, and it's not really going to change anything, definitely not the quality, it's all going to be the same in that regard, but there are certain things that have compatibility issues, so if you're using your photos and videos for a specific purpose, definitely be aware of this. But that being said, the compatibility issues, especially in this day and age, are really not that common. I mean, flagship phones like iPhones and even higher end Samsung phones do have this on by default. So if you're doing something more simple like using the photos for social media or something like that, you're not even going to notice the difference at all. The next thing I'm going to show you is a feature called the floating shutter button. This is pretty cool. It basically puts the shutter button somewhere else on the screen. So if you're taking a selfie at an awkward angle, for example, or maybe just holding the phone with one hand in general, the floating shutter button makes it a lot easier to do. Now you can activate this through the settings, but the easy way to do it is simply by dragging the shutter button wherever you want on the screen like this, placing it, and now it just functions as a normal shutter. And if you want to get rid of it, simply drag it right back, and it'll go back to normal. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to change your video resolution. So to do this, of course, first thing you want to do is go to video mode. From here, go right up here, and as you can see, it is in full HD right now, otherwise known as 1080p. To change the resolution, tap here, And you can also change it to HD, which is 720p. Unfortunately, you can't change the frame rate with this phone, and as you can see, you can't shoot 4K videos either, but if you want to take a slightly lower quality 720p video to save space, you can at least do that. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to customize the bottom bar down here. So say you use the macro camera all the time and you want quick and easy access to it. This is actually a really easy thing to do. All you need to do is go to More, press and hold on the macro mode or whatever mode you want to add, and just drag it down to the bottom bar. And now hit save. As always, never hit the back button. You always want to hit save, otherwise it's not going to save the changes. But now as you can see back in our camera, macro mode is right here. Now you can also get rid of things the same way. Say you have a mode you don't ever use, press and hold, and just drag it off, and it's going to be gone. You can do this with any mode except for regular photo and videos. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is what you can do with the volume keys. By default, if you press one of the volume keys with the camera open, it's going to take a picture. So it basically works as a physical shutter button, which I personally think is pretty cool, but with this phone we do get some options. So to change what it does, as always, we're going to go to settings. From here, go to shooting methods. You're going to want to tap here. And as you can see, by default, again, the volume keys are basically physical shutter buttons. When you press them, depending on the mode you're in, it's either going to take a picture or record a video, but you can also have it zoom in or out, or control the system volume. So for this example, we're going to do zoom. So if we go back to the camera, now if we hit volume up, it's going to zoom in, and volume down is going to zoom out. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to take a burst shot. In case you don't know what it is, a burst shot is basically a series of a bunch of photos you take at once, and usually people will do this to get a bunch of takes of something and choose the best one out of that. Now I guess you can use it to capture something in motion too. Usually if you want to get something with motion, like a bird flying or a car moving, something like that, you would use a motion photo or live photo as it's sometimes called. But unfortunately with this phone we don't get that feature, or at least I couldn't find it. So I guess if you do want to take something with motion in it, a burst shot might work. I don't know how well it would work, but essentially a burst shot is really just going to get a bunch of photos in rapid succession, and it can take up to 30 at once. All you need to do is swipe down your shutter button like this, and as you can see, it's going up to 30. And now if we go to the gallery, you'll see all 30 photos are here, and if you tap on the number, it's going to show all the photos included in the burst shot. You can also have it create a GIF instead. So if we go to settings, go to swipe shutter button right here, hit create GIF, and now if we go back to the camera, swipe down, and it's going to create a GIF instead. So now if we go back to photos, this is basically the end result. Now is it that good? I don't really think so, but all the same, I guess it is still a nice feature to have. Now the last thing I'm going to show you is how to change the aspect ratio of a photo. Now this is actually really easy to do. All you need to do is go up to the icon right here where it says 3:4. For some reason it's highlighted, I don't really know why. But if you tap on here, you can change it to 9:16, 1:1, or full, which in the case of this phone is going to be 20:9. You can also do 3:4 at 50 megapixels, and that's going to use the full power of this phone's camera, a little bit larger of a file, but a much more high quality photo. So if you ever want to do that, in general, it's nice that we get both 16:9 or 9:16 depending on which way you have it, and 1:1 at the same time, because a lot of phones, especially in this price range, for whatever reason, only have one or the other, and it's nice to have both because sometimes maybe you want to take a photo for a video thumbnail. Usually those are done in 16:9, but other times maybe you want to take a photo for Instagram. Instagram still does like those 1:1 square photos, so with this phone, it is nice that we're getting some versatility here. But those were my camera tips and tricks for the Samsung Galaxy A23. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you found this information useful as well. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And as always, if you want to learn more about this phone, be sure to check out my full review and other tips and tricks videos for it as well. But that's it for this video. I will see you in the next one.